Welcome everybody to Coaching Live. We're so happy to be here with you.
And we just came back from our very amazing journey into coaching with our coaching clients. And actually I didn't know that our coaching clients had their own secrets that were revealed during coaching sessions that we didn't know at the beginning. So it was...
There were a lot of secrets.
Actually a lot of secrets. And yeah, so they are in completely different place that we thought that they will be. And this is very interesting.
So just to give you a heads up, we were 5 weeks in Malibu, Los Angeles, filming the main part of the coaching movie. And I have to tell you, this movie will be a lot more powerful than we ever thought. The transformations that we already saw of the clients in these 5 weeks are amazing. Actually, we could already almost finish the movie for some of the clients because they already achieved so amazing results.
Yes, and it was so great that Patrick even is not wearing shoes today.
We have our cat today, so she's hunting for a few flies, so you might see jumping in the middle of the program. This is all live and you can participate also by chat. So just go to coachingmovie.com/live and you can chat with us and ask your questions during this episode. We are here for you this evening or this morning if you're in the USA, and we'd like to be of service to you. So tell us what you need, what your questions are, how you want to be
challenge
inspired.
us, and also we are here with different coaching experts and in each episode, so whatever questions you have, this is the place for you to ask.
Exactly. Let's have a look together what you can discover in this episode. First, we're going to reveal to you our live coaching client. And he has a pretty special story, so be prepared for some surprises. And he had a pretty rough life. Then, our live coaching client, actually you'll discover that he is a past news reporter who won an Emmy Award. And he'll be doing a news report right from the film set. Then we will do a news report from Hollywood. And will inspire you how the energy of Hollywood can change you in a positive way. And then we're going to talk to a few of our coaches. For example, with John Bates, who has trained hundreds of Tedx speakers, and also one of the speakers in the movie, Jane Cox. So this is Jane Cox that will be coaching you live. Be prepared to call in and ask your challenge, your question to her. So yeah, it will be a pretty exciting episode here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to our audience that you will learn about our new coaching clients.
And how you can approach this? Well, you can put your computer on your table and imitate like we are actually part of your living room. And feel free to have kind of a party or a dinner party with us here.
Or
ask
tea.
your questions, yes. Ask your questions on the chat window, interact with us, and you may also be able to call in on Skype. Actually, you can already now add our Skype name to your Skype, which is Coaching Movie. Just look us up on Skype, and maybe we will be able to call you and you'll be able to interact and be coached by Jane Cox, who will be one of the main guests in this program. So yes, one of the things that we had in the coaching movie filming experience in Los Angeles is a lot of coaches that came from all over the world. And we'd like to give you a glimpse of the behind the scenes, how the movie set looked, and that we'll be discussing in just a moment. But before we go there, one of the most amazing stories that we saw in our life was the one of our live coaching clients. It's just one actually. And this is Rob Kubel.
This is the third one that we are revealing.
Yes, and he is an Emmy Award news reporter, and he was really in need of a change in his life. Why? Well, you find it out in this video.
My name is Rob Coble. I'm 44 years old, and I was an Emmy Award-winning investigative reporter. And one night in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in less than an hour, I lost it all.
Glendale police arrested today's TMJ4 reporter Rob Coble for disorderly conduct. Security spotted him urinating outside one of the stores.
It was tough. It was the end of probably about 6-7 months. My ex-wife, who was a CNN news anchor, we met as co-anchors in Clarksburg, West Virginia. She had written a book.
He'd had too much to drink and he was screaming at me and he threw his ring at me and said he never wanted to see me again. And the verbal assaults were just, here's this person that's supposed to love you more than anything, and you're being attacked in a way you've never been attacked before.
It was so much coming from all these different directions. A lawsuit by a school bus driver who we did a story on. Well, I was also fighting a legal battle with my agent at the time, so that was the shit show, and the grand finale that evening would have been the Apple Store. It's fairly easy not to want to drink, but this process is tough. Instead of grabbing at that first job, and being thankful that somebody would just hire me in the first place, is I'll find something that taps into the same passion that I had for news, because I lost that. And when I got sober, it's a great life, but there's more to it, and I'm not going to give up at this just because I'm sober. There's more to it, but I'm just not exactly sure how to grab it. That's what I'm hoping to learn.
So yes, it's a pretty amazing story and pretty tough story that Rob has.
Yes, and actually, when I met him the first time, he was really sad, and it was after 3 years of his sobriety, and he changed his life. He understood that he cannot drink more, but I think that it was terrible that somebody that is very close to you is writing a book about you.
Exactly. Imagine that your ex-spouse, well, if you're not married yet or not divorced yet, it's hard to
It could be somebody else, your best friend, for example.
Imagine they write
your
a book
brother.
about your dark stories, how bad you were, how terrible you are, how angry you are, and so on, and it becomes a bestseller about your life.
They make it the #1 sensation news. Yeah. Yeah,
because Rob was an Emmy award-winning news reporter. It was all over the news about him.
And actually, it's like that. He went to Google, and whenever he's in Google, he searched for his name and surname. He's finding this story. So you can imagine you are looking for a job. You are on a job interview, and somebody wants to know more about you, and he searches in Google, and what he finds. And the worst story possible about you. So he had really a challenge to find a job and really to recover from the situation. And also, it's not only about himself, but it's also about his reputation. And that this story was really blocking him for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm. And now what the coaching movie will try to support him with is with finding a job. And I'm saying try, but actually we know already that he's very well on the way.
This is a secret. He should be on the way because this is a movie about coaching, so we should get results, yeah?
And let's have a look and learn more about Rob. Because he's an excellent news reporter, we employed him to give a news report right from the film set and interview a few of the people that were around behind the scenes. Let's have a look.
Hi everyone, I'm Rob Coble. I want to take you on what has normally been a closed set for the last 2 weeks to the coaching movie. So we're in Malibu, California. I want you to follow me through the doors. We've got special permission from the executive producers and the directors to show you a little bit of what we've been doing in the last 2 weeks. As you can see, this is a little bit of a celebration right now because they have been working nonstop. We've had coaches coming in from all over the world. Our director is here, Betsy Chassie, along with a couple of the coaches. Dami is our director of photography. I've nicknamed him the Belgian Waffle. How are you doing?
Nice pink shirt.
It's a red. Oh yeah. It's red. He's colorblind, so I hope the movie comes out really well. Anyways, they've all been working really hard. Kasha's another one.
Hello, welcome everybody.
And
yes.
they are the hosts, obviously, here.
We have a party here for one of the coaching clients, yes?
Yes, and you guys are working. This is a party. It's not supposed to be that.
I can't.
Hi, Betsy.
Rob, no, you can't do that.
Yes, I can. It's much better.
Wait, you're supposed to. Give me that mic.
No, it's mine. She likes to be in front of the camera sometimes, from time to time. Ouch. Anyways, come on in. Let's go further here. Chad is one of the coaching clients here. He's getting a quick little rundown and maybe a pep talk or something like that. And Sun Lu is another one of the coaching clients here. Oh, look at who we also have here. We have a couple of the coaches. Yes, and very happy, excited. You guys have been doing a lot of work on this set so far already. Now, I don't want all the secrets yet because we want to keep those, but what has it been like so far working with these clients?
Oh, fantastic. They are all in, and that's what matters.
Yeah, it's been the most exciting adventure. And you know what? Every coaching adventure is an exciting adventure, but this one is crazy.
You're not ready to quit on us yet. We haven't scared you off?
No.
Not yet.
So there's still hope?
Yes.
While there
There's
is
always
breath, there's hope.
Ooh, that is a
Movement
profound
is life.
statement. Movement is well. Then let's move on. Thank you guys. So, anyways, what you'll see and hear more is we got to eat, and all the cheese and the hors d'oeuvres are coming out here. And as you can take a look around, this is really a gathering area that in between some of the shooting that we do is we get to eat. There's sweets. Some of us are watching our diets and everything. Patrick's got a big sweet tooth, so he likes to say he eats healthy all the time. I watched him put about 4 or 5 of those into his hand all at once. And then, of course, we got the other people here that are doing. Ksenia does so much work, but you never get to see anything. Are you nervous now?
I am very nervous.
Okay, well, we're just spreading it around. Is everything going well on the set?
It's going all right.
Why are you so stressed? You got a bottle of wine. I already see an empty one behind you. It must have been through one already. I'm just kidding, folks. Sonia, don't forget, she's hiding. You came all the way from Spain. What do you think of America so far?
It's great to be here.
Muy bien.
Yeah.
¿Dónde está Malibu?
Malaga is in Spain, in the south.
And what are you making? Is this something we can snack on later?
Probably not.
Come on, I've had that cook. It's been very good. Muy bueno. Maybe once. Okay. So as you can see, all those preps are getting underway, and big party that's coming out, and we're going to get a chance to get to know each other in a more informal setting. That is just a small peek around this set. We're not going to show you everything because we want you to see it. Lots of transformations going on here, but we'll let you get a peek from time to time to see how things are going. Wait a second. No, come here. It'll look great on camera. Patrick, he's working the camera. This guy never stops. And
I'm
he's still
actually
holding a camera here like this. Yes, was that good? Are you enjoying this?
I love it.
What do you think of America?
Well, I love America because they're so enthusiastic, so open, and they're open for change, just like you.
Yeah.
So you can change.
He's going to make sure, or he's going to die trying, one way or the other. If you can't change with all this help and experience, then you got a problem. Patrick told me that, so I'm holding you to it. Okay,
Thank you very much, Rob.
Yes, you're welcome. So anyways, that's a good idea of what's going on around here. And like I said, we will pop in from time to time and give you updates on what's going on here. Lots more to come. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, this was just a kitchen, but it was a house of transformation. And I remember one day, the atmosphere was so dense that even the film crew was experiencing something, and they had an internal process, and everything was, really crazy about it. So, it really happened. And if you accumulate so big amount of coaches in one house for a short time, this is what can happen, a complete breakthrough.
And speaking about the film crew, it was really funny. The sound person, he was listening for
all the
5
sessions.
weeks to every single coaching session very, very closely with the headphones on. Imagine the transformations that he went through.
You know what Betsy said? One day he told her, it's really difficult for me, and she said, what? The sound system? No, this is easy. Coaching sessions.
Yeah, he was going quite through some transformations. Everybody around the coaching sessions that were happening. It was really interesting to see. So yes, if you are up to inspiration, you know what to do. Just take yourself question yourself, be brave and courageous to question your beliefs and to get out there and look for help, because every successful person had a coach.
Yeah, and it's not about only question yourself, but challenge yourself. Think that this is not the only perspective that you have right now. Maybe there's a different one. Maybe somebody on the same seat that you are sitting right now would have a completely different mindset. And maybe this is not all that that you have or that you think about yourself right now. Maybe you can go beyond, and maybe there's something bigger that is waiting for you. Maybe there's an adventure, and maybe there's a dream to complete.
Our cat already stood up for the adventure because right now we're going next to Hollywood, just under the Hollywood sign, and there are a lot of really successful people that are living there. Let's have a look what that place can inspire you with.
We were just passing by the closest point to the Hollywood sign, and those people who bought those houses, they were probably very happy that they live so close to the symbol of Hollywood and maybe of the universe, but probably right now they are cursing because there are so many tourists. We are in the middle of the most desired place in the world for some people, and even though people who live there, they achieved probably their fortune and happiness, it's always the most important to look inside. So if you would like to be happy, look inside whenever you live.
And also good to know is that success attracts success. All beginnings are quite difficult, like having a train put in motion. In the beginning you need a lot of energy, but once it rolls, it's much easier and actually difficult to stop. So when you're looking to grow your business or be more happy in life, it's like a muscle that you train. So the more you do it, the better it becomes. And coaching can help you with that, especially on bringing you on the way and to gain momentum, to be able to gain that speed on your journey.
And if you have your own symbol of fortune, happiness, success, you can put this symbol close to you so that you can remember about what is your purpose. But then when you achieve that, you have already it inside, so you don't need to look at the sign anymore.
Yeah, and speaking about signs, maybe a good sign for the movie to be really a very important historic milestone for the coaching world is that the transformations that we saw on the film set of the coaching movie are really amazing. We were expecting that it would be pretty impressive, but I'm really looking forward to this film to come out, because you'll be able to peek behind the scenes how those transformations, how those lives and businesses have been transformed, and there is a huge difference before and after that you'll see in the film.
The place where we live in Malibu is so powerful and transforming that there's even difficult to find the phone coverage for the signal.
And a parking spot.
And a parking spot. And actually we all experience living there that our dreams are more vivid, we have more visions, and maybe that's why our clients have so many powerful transformations there. So expect that the movie will be also very powerful.
Yeah, and thank you for joining the movement.
Yes. And actually, you know, it's very important to be close to a symbol of transformation and also be close to a role model. Like for one of our coaching clients, Jack Canfield was a very important person. And what actually helped her a lot was that he was also sweating on the movie set.
Yeah, so or even the celebrities sweat if it's really important.
And they can still be successful.
Yeah. So yeah, just like Marcia also wrote a book about. Yeah,
but she wasn't sweating on the movie set.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
To say. No, there was another book.
Oh, that was another.
Happy for No Reason. This was her book, and she wasn't sweating.
Anyway, somebody who doesn't sweat when he does presentations is John Bates. Why? Because he has trained hundreds of TED and TEDx speakers all over the world. And if you're curious how you can get on the TED stage and be invited to speak at a TED event, well, listen to the next part, because John explains to you behind the scenes how it really works.
TEDx is a phenomenal platform for you to get your idea out. And yes, it can have a tremendously positive impact on your book sales or on your business or whatever. But the problem is, if you approach it for that alone, you'll probably be disappointed, you know? So the thing to do is to find the TEDx events that are around you in your community, in the circles of things that you travel in.
And you find them on the website.
Yeah,
so that's
just
easy.
do TEDx.
Because why you would be disappointed?
Well, because here's the thing. So I recommend that you go be a part of that TEDx community and get to know them and let them know what you do. Because if you just send them an email and you say, hey, I'm a great expert in this and I want to talk at your TEDx event, they're probably not going to be super excited about that. Okay. You know, they get a lot of people who just come there because they think, oh, I've got a new book for sale. You know, and that's not what TED's about. TED and TEDx is a very close-knit community, actually. People from TEDx events, the organizers, we all know each other all over the world. We talk about speakers, you know. So, and if you come in with just the intent of selling, it's just like a lot of other places. People don't want to hear that.
Of course.
But if you come in and you give your great ideas or your great insights and you do a really great talk and you offer something to that audience, they're going to go to your website. Of course they are. They're really impressed by what you just did, you know? So I think if you go in with the intention of serving instead of the intention of selling, and you just really serve as well as you can and share that great idea that you have, that actually will not disappoint you. I think that could change your life.
Yes, and that intention changes your communication style.
It sure does. It sure does.
Yes, and what I wanted to add is that actually it can help also your business growth, because if you think about not selling but about sharing your message,
yes,
people will be more willing to listen to you.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because I had this problem at the beginning of this business. I started this business about 3 years ago full time. Before that I was doing a lot of coaching and things, but it wasn't my main income. And I can't say that I actually burned the boats. You know how they say burn the boats so that you can't go back home? I didn't actually burn the boats, but when they caught fire, I didn't put them out. You know, so all of a sudden I had my business and the boats were burned and I had to make it work. And what I did is I went around and I spoke at all these different places, these CEO groups and all these places that would invite me, and I would just do it for whatever they'd pay me. If they wouldn't pay me anything, I'd still do it. If I had to fly myself up to the Bay Area, I would do it. You know, I would ask them, do you have a stipend? And if they said, sure, $500, I'd say, okay, I'll take it, you know. And if they said no, I'd say, okay, I'll still do it, you know. And for about a year and a half, I did everything and anything that came my way. And I was so tempted, and this is the key part for me, I was so tempted to maybe not share the really good stuff. Maybe go give them a taster, and then, you know, if they paid me, give them the good. No, I gave them the absolute best I had every single time. And that has turned into the most powerful word of mouth engine that I could have ever imagined. I'm now working with places like Boston Scientific and NASA and Johnson & Johnson and et cetera, all because for that first year and a half, I gave everything. I gave it the best I had, you know, and now I still do, but now I'm getting paid a lot of money to keep doing it. Yeah. So so that whole thing of going to a TEDx event and just giving from your heart the best message that you could give, it doesn't necessarily even have to be about your business. If you go do a really amazing talk, they'll come check out your business.
Yes, and actually, did you notice that even baby Thomas had the same color of clothes than John Bates?
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yes,
and
so
we like to do interviews with our baby Thomas, who is 4 months old, because he's a lovely little soul that helps us to inspire, to be more inspired.
Yes, and actually what happened that baby Thomas was one of the best coaches on the movie set, because all those people were coming very nervous to the movie set, you know, we are, you know, in front of many cameras here. And then baby Thomas was just smiling to them very openly, like, really smiling. I cannot do it with the open face.
He has a really big mouth.
He does that. No,
to smile.
like a big smile, not a big mouth. Like a small,
big
tiny,
smile
yes.
mouth.
And everybody was really relaxing very quickly, so it was helping.
Exactly. And now you know with John Bates, who has trained the coaches and the speakers on the coaching movie as well, you know how to have a chance to be part of TED or Tedx. You know, if you have an idea, if you have an invention, if you have a project, something that helps people and makes a difference in the world, you now know how you can get on the very important and amazing TED stage.
Yeah, and you know, everything is possible. You just need to find the right expert to help you with that and listen to their story. And even if you are just starting, you remember that we all started somewhere. And if you want to climb a Mount Everest mountain, you need to start with something very simple. You need to go to a trekking store and buy a stuff. And then you need to talk with people, you need to practice a lot, and you are not going to climb Mount Everest in you know, one summer. You need more time to practice that. So we all started in a very small place with small steps.
Yes, and now it's time, wherever you are, to connect together with Jane Cox. Jane Cox is one of the coaches and the speakers in the coaching movie, and she's joining us today from the USA. She actually lives in the UK, but right now she's in the USA. So Jane, welcome here and welcome to Coaching Live.
Thank you very much, Patrick. It's a pleasure to be here.
How is it there, Jane? How did you experience the behind the scenes of the coaching movie?
I thought it was an absolutely brilliant experience, but I think each of us coaches learned as much as any of the clients that we were coaching.
It's great to have you part of the movie, and we were really honored that you're part of it. And we're very curious, tell us, if people, you are into business coaching, if people would like to grow their business, what is the number one thing they could do if they're listening right now to be inspired to grow their business?
I think one of the pieces of advice I can give to people when they're starting up their business is that it's all about cash flow. And when people are making investments, whether it's investments of their time, investments of their energy, investments of their money, they need to be investing in things that start producing a cash flow in their business rather than in things that make their business look nice. So it's about every time you're making a decision, ask whether this is actually going to make a difference to your bottom line, because that cash flow is so important to getting your business up and running.
Exactly. And what is a way to measure that and to make sure with people that are just starting out in doing this, to make sure that they're going the right direction?
Well, there's a beautiful quote that says something like, profit is vanity and cash flow is sanity. And I think it's literally a case of making sure that you are making strategic decisions when you're making decisions. What happens when you start a business is every other business in your area finds out about it and tries to sell you their services. And I think it's all about making sure that every time you're offered an opportunity, you go inside of yourself and you go, right, is this going to serve my business well? Is this going to serve me well? And is this what my business needs right now? Or is it something that can wait a few months while I concentrate on something else?
Yeah, and that's very important, because I remember from when we started our business, we didn't pay much attention to that. We were focused on getting out there and making sales and so on, but we forgot about those important things that are really important from the beginning.
Actually, we did many mistakes with our business. It took us probably longer, you know, if we would have all those coaches, wonderful coaches around us by then. So, yeah.
So Jane, let's have a look who would like to be coached live today on the show, and let's connect with a few people who are out there. By the way, if you're listening to this and you'd like to be coached or mentored live on the show here by Jane Cox, feel free to add us to Skype. The Skype name is Coaching Movie. and we'll be able to connect with you. And let's have a look who is out there, with who we can connect on Skype, who is available right now, who would like to suggest their challenge or has a question for Jane. And the setup is very simple. When you have a challenge, when you have a question, a topic that you would like to raise, just let us know and let Jane know especially with one simple question, and we'll have a few minutes, you and Jane interact to be able to get forward with that, especially if it's around growing a business. So let's see who is out there. Our technical team will connect with the first available person right now, and let's see who we can connect with.
And actually, in the meantime, I was wondering, what is the worst mistake, Jane, that can really block your business to grow?
I think it is not. What happens is we're so keen when we start up a business that it's all about making money. So very often I find people will take on jobs that aren't really suited to what they want to end up doing. And they end up being diverted from what they love. And so when you start making that mistake really early on in your business, the challenge is that very often you get known for something that you don't want to get known for, and people don't know you for your actual area of expertise. And I think that's very soul destroying.
And I was thinking about our worst mistakes. Patrick, what was the worst mistake for you?
Well, the worst mistake in business for me, for example, was assuming a lot of things. So I was assuming that when I had a product or a service that everybody would want it, and I had the numbers totally wrong. So I thought that 1 on 100 would buy something, or 1 on 200. But actually, in reality, that wasn't the case, and I burned my fingers and even my face a few times, metaphorically speaking. In the meantime, we have connected with somebody who's there. What is your name?
This is Lisa Peak.
Hey, hi Lisa. What is your question for Jane?
Well, my question for Jane is actually talking about the niche that I am looking at choosing for my coaching. I've been coaching now for several months, and everything so far has been word of mouth. And I feel like it's starting to get to the point that I need to start, and I want to start doing a little marketing, but I'm afraid, I'm kind of going around in a circle about how to put it out there as to what exactly my focus area is. From a marketing perspective, everyone says, yeah, communicate the niche as soon as possible. But my intuition kind of says, don't choose too soon. So I'm looking for some advice in that area.
Right. Hi, Lisa. Lovely to talk to you. My advice to you, and of course now I'm mentoring as opposed to coaching, is you've just told me that your gut feel is not to niche too much, but your advice that's been given to you is that niching is so important. I kind of think that there's a middle ground. I think the biggest thing is that right now, while you're in the beginning of creating your coaching business, it is easier to get known than it is to get known as an across-the-board coach. So I always suggest to people that you start off, you do niche yourself when you start off, but you niche yourself in a position that enables you to grow into a broader coach as you kind of unfold your coaching business. And the reason why it's so important to niche yourself, especially initially, is because there are so many coaches out there who are just very broad-based coaches. They're business coaches or they're life coaches, and they haven't literally gone in and done their market research and found where the gap is that they've got the potential to be able to fill. And I think if you can identify that gap and position yourself in that niche from a cash flow point of view when you're creating your advertising and marketing, and from getting yourself entrenched in people's minds and hearts and businesses as somebody who can add value. That is always my advice. And what you'll probably find is that you'll start dealing with people in one area, and as they get to know, like, and trust you, you'll find that naturally your business expands. So you're dealing with the same thing that I dealt with, which is I'm too scared to niche myself because I feel like I've got a bigger package to give. But it is a great starting point.
Yeah, the fear that you just described. Oh, sorry. The fear that you just described is exactly right. I'm afraid I'm going to get a label stuck to me, and if I then want to coach in a broader area at some point, that it's almost as if I'm going to be stuck to a certain extent. That's the fear.
Yeah, I understand that fear so completely, but you actually don't get labeled. People forget that you approach them as a high performance executive coach, for example. They just see the results and they go, "Oh, Lisa, would you be able to help me here?" Or "My friend," or "This business." So actually the niching is only the entry point. And then your client, your personality and your ability to add to their business takes over.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Thanks, Jane.
Thank you very much, Lisa, and thank you very much, Jane. Jane, please stay on the line. And Lisa, thank you very much for joining us. And you'll be able to connect with Jane for a longer coaching or mentoring session. So thank you very much for joining us here for this brief moment on Coaching Live. And Jane, a question that came up during the chat window that we have here on Coaching Live. What is this we actually also intend to explain in the coaching movie, and which you have done really well also in the recordings that we did in Malibu. What is the difference between coaching and mentoring in a nutshell?
So I always think that coaching is climbing inside of yourself and being true and congruent to yourself, and mentoring is then taking what coaching has revealed and opening it up like a flower blooming.
Wonderful comparison. Thank you very much, Jane. Let's connect with the next person who we will be inviting for Coaching Live here on the show.
Hello.
Hi, hello. What is your name?
It's Sheena here, Sheena Walker.
Hi, Sheena. Great to connect with you. Well, Jane Cox is ready to coach or mentor you live here on the show. What is your challenge, your topic, or your question for Jane?
So my question, good evening, Jane.
Hi, Sheena.
Yeah, my question for you, Jane, I hope it's not too complicated. If you could talk me through the process that you've used successfully from a meeting to building a proposal to then having a new contract and then a client. So if you could talk me through what you've found works really well.
Great question, Sheena. Thank you very much. I think that what tends to happen when you are establishing yourself in business, whether it's coaching or mentoring or consulting, is first it is about creating awareness of you. No matter how great you are at what you do, if people don't know that, then you're never going to find any clients at all. So I always think the first point is networking. But networking to me is not going to networking breakfasts where you're dealing with other people trying to network. It's literally getting yourself out there in places or environments where you are naturally meeting people as opposed to in an artificial networking environment. And then I'm always very quick to follow up with an email connection or a piece of information that I remember them mentioning to me that they needed or they were curious about. And then I might suggest a call. Now, I'm quite adamant about the fact that what we tend to do is we tend to give an awful lot of information for no money. And what happens then is that people think that all the rest of our services are going to be free as well. So in that introductory call, firstly, I think it's about creating the actual personal connection, because people buy people. It doesn't matter what business you're working with and who that person is in that business, they're buying you, Sheena, as their potential solution. And during that call, coaching is such an important thing, because if you can speak to them and ask them questions, always phrase everything in question form, it literally pulls out of them what they're looking for, so that then the second follow-up call or the second email can be really, really pertinently directed towards that person and their needs. I think it's so important as a coach or a mentor. It's about not doing business to suit you, it's about doing business to suit your client. And then after the second call, I would move into formalization. Right, it's been absolutely brilliant getting to know you and getting to understand your business. How do you, Mr. Client, feel you would like to move forward? And very often the next question they ask you is, well, what do you suggest, Sheena? And that's where you can start going into creating the contract around whatever you think suits that client.
Great. Yes, that's a great answer, Jane. Thanks for that. And if I've got time, can I ask a second one?
One quick one.
One quick one. I actually do complimentary 15 minutes on a Monday. And I'm just wondering, I've never stipulated you can have 2 or you can have 4. Do you think I should just be giving 1 complimentary performance coaching? Or it's 15 minutes. Ultimately, sometimes it's half an hour. And I say they can ask me a question and I'll give them an answer. Do you think that's a good idea, Jane?
I love that idea. I think that's a brilliant, brilliant idea. I would definitely limit it to an absolute maximum of 2 for a person, because if they aren't prepared to invest in their business, then you're already on a back foot, and they need to be investing in you if they see your potential to help their business growth. Otherwise, all these calls that you're giving out as complimentary calls are costing you income creation time. So effectively, you're ending up investing more in their business than they are if they keep using your free service as opposed to signing up as a client, a paying client.
Yeah. So from the onset, it's you can have 2 sessions, we can talk next week, and then obviously move into if they want to continue.
Yes, but I think if it does extend into a half an hour call, you know, they've kind of They've tested the waters and they've liked what you've said. So it's, I mean, as somebody who makes that second call has obviously seen value in what you do. So that's definitely a great closing point for a business contract.
Yeah. That's super, Jane, and thank you very much for speaking to me. And I hope you're well, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Sheena. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Sheena, for joining us, and Jane, please stay on the line. Also, our crew of hosts has grown. We have here little Thomas with us.
Yes, he really wanted to be part of this, so now he is here, and he's very nice and quiet. But he wasn't so quiet downstairs.
He likes to be part of the show as well.
Exactly.
Now, Jane, let's call one last person. We have still a little bit of time for today. I think it's Jacqueline, if I remember well. Let's see if we can connect with Jacqueline. And Thomas will be also part of the coaching movie, actually. He was so much on the film set, there was no way of going around him. So,
but it's a surprise how he will appear in the movie.
Let's see, meantime, if we are able to connect with Jacqueline. I think so. Jacqueline, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello, Patrick. Hello, Kazia. And hello, Jane.
Hello.
And hello, Thomas, our little baby. So, Jacqueline, what is your question challenge topic for Jane?
Well, I've taken some advice about creating an ebook, and I have one all ready to go, but the second part of the advice was to put in an offer, you know, to connect to the audience, so you don't just send them some great content, but you do something special with it too. But I'm just not sure how to structure the offer. I don't want to start with a discount proposition, you know, like pay for 5 sessions, get 1 free, or I want to start from a value proposition instead. You know that I'm going to do great things for them. So I'd really love Jane's help on how I put some sort of offer in without undermining myself.
Right, really good question, Jacqueline. Thank you for that. An ebook is a brilliant way of gathering the contacts and sharing some of your valuable content. But it doesn't introduce you to people as a person. And what you tend to find is that people will just walk away from something like that. They'll read it, they'll take whatever they take from the content, but because you haven't connected with them as a physical person, that's where your challenge is. So I'm going to give you a piece of advice and I'm going to ask you a question, but I'm going to ask you the question first. If you were the reader of the ebook, what would you want to have as your next step?
I think if I was reading the ebook, it's all about, you know, the dodgy coaches to avoid, you know, how to find a good one. I'd then want to connect to a good coach, and I'd want to connect to the person who's written the ebook.
Right. Okay. So what about doing something like offering them the opportunity to engage in a monthly webinar? That you run a webinar on the first Wednesday of every month, and they just need to send you an email, because then when they're seeing your face and looking into your eyes, metaphorically speaking, and listening to your voice, that personal connection starts being developed. And of course, that also limits the time that you need to give to something. If you allocate an hour a month for business growth, I think that's a really good use of time. But also you can handle anyone from one person on the end of a webinar to 100 people on the end of a webinar. So as your reputation grows and as your business grows and the number of people on the other end of your webinar grow, it's no extra effort from your point of view. And of course, if you record each of those videos, you can then start creating another product, and you can sell the series of videos if you've got different topics for each of those videos.
That is really smart thinking. Yes. Thank you so much for that, Jane.
An absolute pleasure, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for the question.
And I think this was a great advice from you, Jane. And I think it's very important to interact with your clients. And if you have something that you can give away, something that is interesting that you can just share with them about your expertise, about what you do, this is great. And I think that this is the most important, that you find a way how you can really share something from your heart and something that would be of need and interest for them. So not like repeating Patrick's mistake, that he was thinking that he has a great product, but there was no audience. But think about what they need.
Does that make sense?
It makes so much sense. And isn't that the great thing about being part of the coaching community? Because when I'm off with clients and I can step outside their head or their inner doubts and everything else, it's great, and I can give them great advice. But then when you try to do it for yourself, it's going to be just so hard, because you have all your doubts and all your questions beating you to the answers. So being able to tap into other coaches is just awesome. It's really great. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jacqueline.
So thank you very much, Jacqueline, and thank you very much, Jane, for being part of this Coaching Live show, and also being part of the coaching movie. We had a really great time together, and actually we miss all the coaches that we have met on the coaching movie's film set. It was such an amazing energy.
Yes.
I enjoyed it so much. And so much positive energy of all those people who are who have a mission of making the lives of others more positive.
You can imagine that you wake up in the morning and whatever topic you have, you can always work with a coach on it. It's perfect.
So thank you very much, Jacqueline. Thank you very much, Jane, for joining us today. Have a great rest of the day or evening. And we're looking forward to see you also part of the next show. If you'd like to subscribe for the episodes, just go to coachingmovie.com/live-registration, and there you can find the place to record, to register for the next episode. We'll be having our next episode coming up in about 1 month from now, and there we will let you discover who is the business, not the business coaching client, because that one we have, the executive coaching client, and more insights from the film set of the top coaches of the world. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thomas, baby Thomas is holding my hand to say goodbye. He's really doing that. He's from us.
Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Bye.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.